Hey guys, Cinza here, and welcome to another Shadowlands Alpha video. In this video, we're going to be looking at Torghast as a Death Knight. Now, Death Knight has some really nice anima powers in Torghast, and some definitely cool ones I think could be legendary effects. And I've done Torghast on a lot of characters. I haven't gone truly in depth on all of them. Except for like Monk and Paladin recently, but Death Knight is definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite, for just cool powers that could be legendaries. And it was actually kind of hard to narrow this down to just 5 powerful ones. So really, almost any of the anima powers, if even one of them could become a legendary effect, then I think that would be very good. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the list. So the first one I want to talk about is called Animate Armaments. Now you're not going to be able to see that on these enemies because they don't have weapons, but it causes Death Grip to strip your enemy of their weapon if they have one, and then it animates it to fight by your side for 6 seconds. So that's another, it's a cool way. Death Grip is always useful, and it's a nice way to get a little bit of extra DPS and you know stop the target from, you know, doing too much damage. If they have a weapon, it takes their weapon away for 6 seconds and then you have it. So I just think that's a pretty cool effect and would make for a good legendary effect depending on how it's, balanced and all that. The next one is probably one of the best ones, especially for Unholy. It's called Plaguebringer, and what it does is it causes Marrowwind, Obliterate, and Festering Strike to cause your disease damage to occur 150% more quickly for 5 seconds. Now, for people that have played Unholy know that their diseases do a lot of their damage, and there's a talent that makes them, makes the diseases do like it do additional damage in half the duration. So that's a really good talent to use. And then if you have this effect as well, causing them to do a lot more damage, or to do damage more quickly for 5 seconds, that's a big deal. It's not flashy or anything. Like you're not going to be able to notice it while I'm, showing you this combat, but you'll notice it in the damage. You put the diseases on, hit them with Festering Strike, and then now they're just taking so much more damage. And it works for the other ones too. The Blood Disease for blood decays, the Frost Fever for, um, frost decays. So it's definitely a pretty cool one, and one that I think would be great in really any situation. Just a general all-purpose legendary. This one is actually a combination of 2 powers. The Death's Turf and Pheromones. Basically, they both involve death and decay, but I think combining them together into one effect would be make for a great legendary. So what Pheromones does is it causes your death and decay to have a chance to make the targets cower in place for 3 seconds, and then Death Turf makes it so that you and your minions will gain haste, 10% haste while you're inside your Death and Decay. So I think combining those is really good because the Death Turfs by itself could probably still be good as a legendary, but I think the extra effect of making them cower is useful as well. And I don't think that Pheromones by itself necessarily is a great legendary. I mean, them cowering in place is great, but not good enough for a legendary effect. So I think that would just combine for a pretty powerful legendary effect. You're getting extra haste, and they're gonna be likely not to get out of the death and decay because they're gonna cower. So you can't really notice it unless they cower like right there. But it would be a strong effect either way. All right, so this next one you've probably noticed happening while I've been showcasing the other ones, but it's called Chains of Anguish. And what it does is it causes the Chains of Ice ability to link enemies together, causing them to share 50% of the damage taken. And it's really nice because, Chains of Ice does not have a cooldown. It does cost a rune, but it is very great in AoE situations. So let me go ahead and use this here. As you can see, there's chains linking them, not just the ones that are on the enemy itself, but linking, each enemy together, and you get the effect on them, the debuff. So that will cause them all to be linked together, and you'll be doing like extra damage. It's basically like free damage, and the chains look really cool. So I think that's a pretty cool legendary effect. Really good for Frost as well if they're using like the Cold Heart um, talent. But even for Unholy, that's good because it only takes one rune. Just link them together and then do the massive AoE. Just another great AoE tool to use. Alright, so for this last one, it's called Bone Harvest, and I recorded this one a little bit earlier. I'll go ahead and showcase it while I'm explaining it. But basically, it makes it so that when you use Death Coil, you see it puts a dot on them called Bone Harvest that does damage over time, over 5 seconds. And if they die with that dot on them, which they didn't that time, then they get risen as either a risen skulker or a Mages of the Dead. So see, the Risen Skulker came up, and it keeps happening. As far as I know, there's not much of a limit. It's really difficult when they keep running like that, but yeah. I'm showing Frost because normally, Frost can't have minions, multiple minions like this for an extended period of time. And I just think it's really cool. I like it more as Unholy, but I think it's really cool that Frost can have that too, and it would just be such a cool legendary effect, and it makes you feel so much like a Death Knight. So you're just going around and killing things, and then rising them up immediately. Everything that you're killing, you're rising up as a minion, and it feels like a very necromancer-like thing. And necromancers are one of my favorite types of classes in games. So it's definitely, in my opinion, the most like necromancer slash death knight thing, and definitely my favorite anima power. And I really hope this becomes a legendary effect. It would be definitely the first one that I pick. Um, of course, in a single target boss fight, it wouldn't help that much because, well, at all, because, well, it would help a little bit because it does put an extra dot on there. But anyway, I would just have another legendary as backup. But that's definitely my favorite um, anima power, and I really hope it becomes a legendary. So that's it for this video. If you liked the video, please give a like and subscribe for future videos. And as always, thanks for watching.